Hi, this is Mike with Auction of Champions. We've gotten a lot of questions about which grading company we should go with. Which are the best grading companies? There are lots of grading companies out there, and some that don't really necessarily need a lot of time to talk about. Your FGCs, your The Mint, your EMC grading companies. Those serve their purpose, but we don't necessarily need to talk about those today. What we're going to talk about today are the big four grading companies, at least the way that I see it. That's PSA, Beckett, SGC, and CSG. Each of them have their different pros and cons to go with them. And I just want to run through some of the positives of each of those companies to figure out what might be best for you and your collecting needs. The first one to talk about is PSA. Personally, I've always been a fan of PSA. This is the company that I go with. But there's a lot of reasons to choose this company over the others. My favorite part about PSA, along with the classic design, is their set registry. Everybody kind of has that competitive edge in them, and they want to build the best set that they can. PSA's set registry, which I think is the most user-friendly of any of the set registries out there, gives you that competitive opportunity when building sets. For example, the 1976 Amazing Doctor Who set. I have the #1 set in the world. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The next company that I want to talk about is Beckett. There's a few positives to Beckett that we shouldn't go without talking about. The first thing, what makes Beckett famous is their use of subgrades. Each of the company's grades on 4 categories: surface, edges, corners, and centering. Beckett will give you information on each of those 4 subgrades in terms of how it's scored to get you to that final score on the label. They also have a much sturdier case. You can look at PSA or CSG cases in particular, and they feel a little flimsy. They're a little thinner than what you're used to. Beckett has really solid, sturdy cases that have a nice look to them. They're really sharp edges, and it's a nice design.
Oh, very nice.
The next company to talk about is SGC. SGC is widely seen as one of the fastest growing of the card grading companies, which is odd because they've been around for quite a long time. They're actually probably the best company when it comes to pre-war card collections. And so they've established themselves for quite a while as the premier grading company for those pre-war cards. But they've grown a lot in popularity since. When we talk about values for these grading cards, they've grown higher and higher, recently getting close to the second most valuable card grading company. A lot of people also like the black tuxedo design. Personally, I've seen SGC change their labels too many times over the years that I don't love how inconsistent the labeling can be, but their modern iteration, the labels do have a nice sleek look to them. The last company to talk about is CSG, probably the newest of the major grading companies. Their #1 most appealing thing, in my opinion, is how crystal clear their cases are. In terms of just the ability to show off the card that you have, CSG has the nicest case in terms of the clearest plastic to see the card for what it truly is. Now let's talk about the nuts and bolts of these slabs. Well, there are no nuts and bolts in the slab. I guess they're sonically sealed or something like that, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the financial aspect of grading cards. I've chosen the 2019 Bowman Chrome Prospects Julio Rodriguez first Bowman card as our example. Now, this is a nice card, especially since Julio Rodriguez is such a great young player. Ungraded, this is about a $50 card. We've talked about this before, but not every card is going to be graded Gem Mint 10, even straight out of the pack. But for the purposes of what we're doing today, I wanted to explore what this card is worth as a Gem Mint 10 from the different companies. Let's start with PSA. A PSA 10 of this card typically sells for about $130. That's an $80 increase over raw price. But if you're not a member of PSA and you're just submitting one card, the grading cost starts at $50. And so that's a lot of investment to get the highest return. The next choice is Beckett. A Beckett BGS 95, which is what Gem Mint is in Beckett, sells for roughly $100. That's quite a bit less than the PSA 10, but grading from Beckett starts at $25 for a single card. And that only takes about 20 days, which is quite a bit quicker than PSA. Next option is SGC. SGC is down to $80, but to get it graded is only $24, a little bit cheaper than PSA, and they say their returns are about 10 days long. And so you'll get them quicker than Beckett, much quicker than PSA, but the return is that much lower. Finally, CSG sells for about $75, so only a $25 improvement over a raw card. However, again, for just 10 days, it costs $20 to get a single card graded. So to wrap it up, CSG will get you about a $5 profit. SGC will get you about up to $10. Beckett could get you $25, but the best bang for your buck is PSA. At a normal economy submission, you're getting about $30 profit, but if you're able to submit bulk, the prices could drop all the way down to $18 per card. You're looking at over $100 profit getting this card graded. So with this specific card, I'm picking PSA. Now, that changes for a lot of different reasons, so you've got to do the research yourself on the cards that you're submitting, and you also have to decide what's best for you and your collection. Hopefully that information helps you continue to build your collection. Again, as always, if you have more questions that I can help you answer, make sure to put them down in the comments, and thank you so much. Remember, bid like a champion.